Good day to you all, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. Welcome once again to Halftime 360. My name is Emmanuel, and this is yeah. And today we're excited to be diving into some news about what took place during the World Cup qualifiers this past week and so on. So yeah, let's get right into it. And we do apologize for the hiatus due to some unforeseen circumstances that took place in our lives. But let's get right into it. Okay, so from the looks of it, all confederations are drawing to a close. Yeah, and but we're still a long way from the 45 nations that will join host United States, Mexico, and Canada to make up the field of 48 for the 2026 World Cup. Yeah, well, it looks like qualifying for the 2026 World Cup began in October the 12th of 2023. And then, when countries from confederations like Asia played their first round of matches, Myanmar gained a 5-1 win over Macau. And well, from then on, it looked like Japan became the very first country from that confederation to qualify on March the 20th after playing a series of matches. Yeah. And for CAF, it looks like, yeah, CAF, the Confederation of African Football, a record of 8 teams have qualified so far for the 2026 World Cup, namely Morocco, fellow North African, and their fellow North African sides like Egypt, Algeria, and Tunisia, as well as the likes of Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and South Africa. Yeah, Ghana have completed their remarkable resurgence after failing to qualify for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Yeah, the Black Stars have secured their place at the FIFA World Cup once again, thanks to a 1-0 victory they gained over Comoros to seal their top spot in their group, which is Group I. Yeah, in November 2024, the Black Stars were left stunned when Ghana failed to qualify for the continental finals for their very first time since the year 2004. And despite widespread calls for Otto Addo, the manager at the moment, to resign, he's picked up to help the nation perform in order to uh, refrain from standing down as a coach. So, Melvin, what's your take on the news on Ghana qualifying for the 2026 World Cup?
I think it's a long overdue redemption for Otto Addo because
Right.
truthfully the past performances, especially people would remember clearly the last AFCON qualifiers were absolutely disastrous. I mean, almost every Ghanaian was calling for his head. People wanted him out of the job. They wanted him sacked. It was extremely difficult to see the vision. I think there were even protests in Ghana against the GFA and everything surrounding the men's national team. But if I remember clearly, they have. I think they deserve congratulations because they've worked hard. I know that his backroom staff was changed. They were able to find a new peace coach, I believe, from Belgium. Also, they growl. As a result, I think 53% of the goals the Black Stars scored in their World Cup qualifiers were from set pieces. So that was a notable improvement. Um, they scored lots of goals, which is very rare for the Black Stars. They were playing nice football in a couple of those matches as well. So I believe they deserve to be in the World Cup. I mean, I'm extremely proud of their performance in this last. I think these last two international breaks, I've been impressed with the football they played. They look serious. It looks like finally the team has started to gel because we've known couple of these key players for a while. Kudus has been there for a while. Jiku has been there for a while. Um, Kamaldeen Suleimana Inaki has been here at
Mhm.
least. Yes, he went to the last World Cup with us. So I think maybe we should take into consideration that probably their last, disastrous performances were as a result of, the players still getting to know each other, as a lot of them play different leagues in Europe, stuff like that. So maybe they needed a couple of time. Also, international matches are not as many as, say, top flight leagues. You only play a couple of matches a year. So I think all of these factors have culminated positively for the national team, and it has shown good results. So we are glad, we're happy that we're in the World Cup. We booked the place. We're all going to look forward to the draw to see which groups we end up in. It'll be beautiful to watch. I'm really impressed by them.
Right. Yeah. Well, so the German-born Ghanaian tactician, yeah, would become the very first coach to lead the Black Stars to two consecutive World Cups. Yeah, in Ghana's history. Yeah, Otto Addo, well, he was the very same coach who led us to the World Cup that took place in Qatar in 2022. And in his first spell with the team, he firmly believed that he was the right person to lead the revival. With the help of a new backroom staff, he successfully guided, the Black Stars through our CAF qualifying, our series of our CAF qualifying matches with 25 points from 10 games in Group I. Yeah, Ghana, it looks like we're pushed all the way back by Madagascar, but then they punched their ticket to the global showpiece on the final day of qualifying after Mohamed Kudus struck the winner against Comoros. And it also looks like a key reason for the team's success has been the goal scoring form of Jordan Ayew, who netted 7 goals in the entire qualifying campaign. Yeah, yeah. And it looks like, well, the FIFA World Cup, which will take place next year, will mark Ghana's fifth appearance on, well, the largest stage for football in the world, having made their very first appearance in Germany back in 2006, and they will look to improve on their performance, yeah, which was quite not so impressive 4 years ago back in Qatar when they were eliminated in the group stage. Yeah, so
Mm.
far Ghana's best finish has been the quarterfinals. Yeah, making it to the quarterfinals uh, in back in South Africa in 2010. Yeah, when Milovan Rajavac's men reached the quarterfinals, thanks to their inspirational performances well, of and from Samoa Gyan. Yeah, yeah, and apparently in the round of 16, it was Samoa Gyan's powerful strike in extra time that secured a victory over USA, and then set up an epic quarterfinal clash with Uruguay, which remains one of the most thrilling World Cup games of all time. Yeah. Okay. Well, with that said and done about the Black Stars and the CAF Confederation, we'll turn our attention to what took place in Europe. So it looks like Germany remained on top of their group, Group A, after recording a hard-fought win over Northern Ireland in Belfast. A player called Nick Waltermedi provided the game's decisive moments, turning the ball in from David Rome's corner midway through the first half. The Germans came close to extending their lead when Florian Wirtz sent Karim Adeyemi racing clear on goal, but the Borussia Dortmund attacker fired fractions wide. Northern Ireland steadily gained a foothold in the game and threatened when Ethan Galbraith's daisy cutter went inches past the post. Substitute Callum Marshall then forced a fine save from Oliver Bowman, but the Irish could not break through as Germany took an important step towards qualification. So, Melvin, what's your take on Germany's game?
I think it was a good game. I'm not surprised that Germany's performance, they should be in the World Cup. They've done well. they may have been shaky in certain games, but I really feel like they were just trying to find their feet, tactically. So
Right.
nothing scary. They'll be there, and I hope they can do well, because it's not a matter of them qualifying. We always knew they're favorites to qualify for a long time. It's a matter of doing better than they did in the last World Cup, and so they have a newer generation. They still have a couple of their older players as well. I believe Kimmich will probably make the squad.
Yeah.
They they have a perfect balance of, you know, experience and youth players like Newcastle's new striker Walderman and stuff. I think this makes them an interesting, team to see in the World Cup and there. So we look forward to their performances.
Right. Okay. So moving away from that, we then look at Slovakia's game. Well, so it looks like Slovakia dug deep to see off a gallant Luxembourg effort in Irvana. The Slovakians side troubled their hosts in the first half with Martin Dubravka making a superb save from the goalkeeper, and then Milan Skriniar making a last-ditch intervention to stop Edvin Muratovic from going through. Yeah. They just kept pushing forward with the help of Francisco Calzona's Chargers, haven't found their rhythm after the restart. However, with Adam Obert's deflected strike from Ondrej Duda's corner, breaking the deadlock, and then Irvin Schranz's finish from a tight angle sealed the deal for them. What would also be your take on this game?
Which is Slovakia's game.
Yeah, Slovakia.
That was a good game as well. I I don't know who in that particular spot has been confirmed there to be in the World Cup. I know England is going to be there. I know for the African countries we have several teams whose um, qualifications have been secured as of yesterday, I believe, the last couple of games. So the significance of this particular match to Slovakia is, I believe they needed to win this game to secure themselves a position in the World Cup.
Right. Okay. Moving away from that, we also look at the game between Wales and Belgium. So Belgium came from behind to beat Wales in Cardiff and put themselves at the top of Group J. Joe Rodon sent the home fans wild when he headed Wales in front. Belgium then quickly pulled a leveler with Kevin De Bruyne making no mistake from the penalty spot after Ethan Ampadu was penalized for a handball. Apparently they also nicknamed the Red Devils, so they forged ahead when Thomas Munier sent a stunning finish into the roof of the net following a Jeremy Doku cutback. Wales pressed forward for an equalizer in the second half, but conceded another penalty, this time for a handball by Jordan James. Kevin De Bruyne then slotted in another precision spot kick to make it 3-1. Nathan Broadhead's fine finish reignited Wales's hopes, but Leandro Trossard put the result beyond a reasonable doubt with a goal leap into stoppage time, thereby sealing the victory for Belgium, who won the game by 4 goals to 2. What's also your take on this?
Well, it's a brilliant game. Like I said, Belgium is also one of those teams that you'd always expect to be in the
Right,
World Cup. So I'm glad that they'll be there. And this particular game was one that was sort of a no-brainer. You knew Belgium would put through with the win. If you want to compare the head-to-head, it's been closer than you think, but Belgium will still rise up as favourites. I think in the last couple of games, the Wales won five, they drew five, and then Belgium won nine. So the outcome of the game is not surprising at all. The only thing that they raise a couple of eyebrows is the number of goals. goals that occurred in the game. But aside that, I personally would love for both of them to be in the World Cup. I don't know how good that is looking for, um, how that would look for, what do you call it, Wales, given this, loss. It's not looking
Right.
good at all. But for Belgium, we hope to see them there and enjoy their beautiful football in the past. They've been really, really good in the World Cup in recent years. I believe they need to come back stronger again so that we can enjoy Belgian football at its best. So I think in most of the uh, FIFA confederations, I believe about the teams that finish first gain automatic qualification into the World Cup, and then the ones that finish second are grouped into a second place playoff, I think.
Mhm.
So for now, Belgium is sitting pretty at first place, and then in second in that group is North Macedonia. Then we have what do you call it?
Okay.
Wales in third, Kazakhstan and Liechtenstein. So
Yeah.
um, it's not over yet, I believe, for them. So I still think they have like at least one more game. They
Right.
should get themselves there, They need more goals. They only have a plus 3 goal difference, and then North Macedonia have six more than them. So should Macedonia lose, Wales will have to score about 7 goals, and that's crazy. But in football, crazier things have happened. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And from the looks of it, with Kazakhstan, they delivered the latest surprise in their group by holding leaders North Macedonia to a draw in Skopje. Yeah, a place called Skopje. Fresh off their goalless stalemate in Belgium, North Macedonia unfortunately suffered through an uneasy opening half with Milan Ristovsky, yeah, his name is hard to pronounce. Ristovsky producing the only good chances. Kazakhstan were unfazed, and on his first international start, gave the visitors on, and then Captain Enis Bardi answered the call, sending a free kick screaming into the top left corner. The home side then pushed for a winner, but Kazakhstan were able to hold on. Yeah, but and North Macedonia, what do you think about it as well?
Macedonia was the favorite, so I agree with everybody's shock at Kazakhstan being able to hold them to a draw. And as a result, North Macedonia lost their place in the group. They are second now because Belgium won. And it was surprising, but kudos to Kazakhstan. They showed a lot of grit and resilience in that game. I mean, it's all for nothing because I don't see how they'd be at the World Cup, but out of competitive spirits, they had to show up and play, and they did it very well. So they did a good job.
Right, absolutely. And so, getting away from that, we then look at Ukraine's game between themselves and Azerbaijan in Wroclaw. So Ukraine shook off a stiff challenge to take down Azerbaijan in Wroclaw. There was no shortage of chances in the early stages. The highlight being a right-footed rocket from Ukraine defender Yukim Konoplia that rattled the crossbar. The home side started to turn the screws, and an inch perfect free kick from Ruslan Malinovsky's allowed Oleski Hutsuliak to smack in the header. Just when it looked like Ukraine were in full control, they paid the price for switching off as a deep cross for intended for Narim Akunzade was turned into the net by defender Vitaly Mykolenko. Ukraine then regrouped in the second half, and then their talisman Malinovsky then delivered the decisive strike with Hutosliak then setting him up for a volley in the front of the net. Now, what's also your take on this game?
Well, a very interesting game, being that a game from Group D, and
Right.
currently France are leading the group comfortably with 3 wins in 4 games, so they have, and a draw, so they have 10 points. Ukraine in second, and Ukraine just played Azerbaijan,
Mm-hmm.
well, last. I believe Ukraine won this game by a couple of goals. So it's clear that currently, based on the form in the group, France and Ukraine are favorites to be in the World Cup. This is another of those games that were not necessarily, challenging in terms of the caliber of the teams facing each other. Ukraine were clear favorites. They did the job. They taking them a step further to USA, Canada, and Mexico. So good job to them.
Right.
Iceland, who might have been, the country that may have, if they had a decent qualification series, could have snuck in should Ukraine, sort of lose form along the way. It's not entirely impossible. I believe they have to play each other twice. So I think there are at least 2 more games left in the group. So it's not impossible for Iceland to bounce back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting group. France for sure will be there. Ukraine, it's not yet set in stone. There's still time for them to, fumble. Should Iceland rise up and then, try to give them hell. Aside
Right.
that, like, France and Ukraine might be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for Iceland, they hiked their qualification hopes by ending France's 100% record in Reykjavik. Yeah, one of their players, Victor Paulson, poked home the opener from a set piece against the run of play on the stroke of. On the stroke of a halftime, Elias Raffin Olafsson repelled Michael Olise's header with Michael Egil Eletsen doing wonderfully to block Jean Philippe's follow-up. Didier Deschamps' side then flew in front. Yeah, they flew in front when Christopher Nkunku arrowing a beauty into the bottom corner for Mateta to then tap Magnus Aklios's not a difficult name to pronounce. Aklios's cross into the back post. Arna Gunlagson's men then had the final say when Christian Tillison then finished assuredly when Albert Gudmundsson split him no, shot right into the goal. Uh, so, well, but France are definitely on top of this weekend. Well, yeah, obviously, definitely favorites, and yeah, we most likely and definitely most likely see them qualify. And then moving away from that, we then look at Slovenia and Switzerland's game. So Switzerland's hope of returning to the World Cup were put on hold after being denied by a spirited Slovenian side. There was little to separate the teams throughout the contest as Slovenia struggled to break down a solid Swiss defense. Well, yeah, Benjamin Sesko threatened first by hitting the side netting in the 71st minute. Switzerland defender Manuel Akanji almost bundled the ball into his own net moments later, but then his goalkeeper Gregor Kobel reacted quickly to avert the danger. What's also your take on this game?
Another one of those interesting games. Switzerland have turned up as favorites in the group. They are leading comfortably, and I think they'll be there. In this particular game is something that we all thought was going to happen.
Right.
I didn't think it would be so difficult for them at this stage. I don't want to say I'm so surprised at what's happening with Sweden in the group.
Right.
Kosovo, my God,
Mhm.
I would not have expected them to be doing what they are doing in the group right now. As it stands, they look like they will go to the World Cup as well. I believe Europe are not done with their qualifiers yet. They'll continue on the next international break, I think.
Right.
So it looks good for both of them now. Switzerland played. Um, can you cross check who Switzerland just finished playing against?
So they played Slovenia. Yeah.
And Slovenia are language in third, having won none of their last four games, drawing just one, I believe.
Mm,
So it's not looking good. And
yeah.
Switzerland game is a game they should have just won so that they would sit comfortably. But it's not a big deal for them. I think they should drop in the next international break. And as for Slovenia, I don't know what to say. This form is terrible. It doesn't look like you go to the World Cup with a -3 goal difference and 3 points after four games. All your points coming from draws. Sweden have been more terrible. So good job to Switzerland. I mean, if Slovenia want to find a
Mm,
challenge, get there, they need to win all the remaining of their qualifying games. And right now, it's almost impossible for them. So they need to back up. But congratulations to Switzerland. They are almost there. And Kosovo.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. And well, speaking of Kosovo's game with Switzerland, well, Kosovo kept up, so it looks like they won their game against Switzerland 1-0. They kept up the pressure on leaders Switzerland as Sweden's qualifying woes continued. Well, so they had the better of the opening half. Yeah, yeah. For Sweden, well, one day we're playing the game, but then Kosovo took a well-deserved lead when they struck a shot which was miscued by Velden Hodza, and the ball then fell invitingly into the path of their striker Aslani, who then powered it home for them. As the first half came to a conclusion, they they rattled up past the post for the visitors after Victor Johansson pulled off a brilliant one-handed save. A player called Thomason then rang the changes after the break, but to no avail. Very dangerous opportunities to leave Sweden at the bottom. Yeah. Overall, also with Sweden's game against Kosovo, like, what do you think about it?
Well, I think it's unfortunate for Sweden having, a striker like Isak and not being able to use him, to full effect. I think it's sad. They've had in recent years some really good strikers. You could mention Enric Larsson, the great Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and now Isak. And have such top strikers in your national team's history and have nothing to show for it in World is very unfortunate. I don't know exactly what's going on in the national team, but clearly something is has gone awry with Swedish football because lots. I want to even cite Norway as an example. They've made a lot of effort in their football. Region League, I believe, has certain rules that dictates that all clubs must have a specific number of under 20-year olds in their under 21 I think year olds in their club. I think they did this because they wanted to improve the chances of them developing young talent, and it has paid off, I think, if you see Norway's recent performances and the amount of young players that they've grown, the great Erling Haaland among others. I think Alexander Soloth, I might be mistaken. So Norway have been fantastic, and I just want to say I don't know what's going on with Sweden in that regard. So they're sort of being left behind because they have the potential as well. So it's quite unfortunate that they've been terrible in this qualifying series, and kudos to kudos to um Kosovo for
Kosovo, yeah, and
because I don't
yeah,
know, Sweden have not been good. Because in another instance, if you had been asked maybe a couple of years ago, Sweden against Kosovo, who do you think you'd win? You say, oh, definitely, most definitely Sweden. But they've not been good at all. So
mm-hmm.
fortunately, something is changing for them. Other than that, Isak may have missed a couple of chances, but you cannot always rely on just one player. That's the reason why I'm complaining for them, because if they had a couple of key players from top clubs or something, I mean, it probably wouldn't have gone the way it went. But it's what it is.
Right, yeah. Okay. Well, with that said, we'll then look at the final aspect of our session for today, which would be England. So, not so surprisingly, finally, it looks like England have booked their spot at the 2026 FIFA World Cup with a 5-0 thrashing of Latvia in their qualifying match on Tuesday. Thomas Tuchel's side went into the game knowing that the 3 points will confirm their qualification for the showpiece event, which will take place in the United States, Mexico, and Canada next summer, having achieved that with just goals from Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, and Eberechi Eze. The all important win in Latvia was England's sixth game from their sixth game from 6 games in the qualifying uh, round. I mean, in the qualification phase, and then they maintained their record as the only unbeaten side in their group. Well, they have yet to concede a goal, given that in Europe their qualifying matches are still ongoing. So, with this final aspect of our session, what do you think about England's game?
Absolutely fantastic, without
Yeah,
limit. Won every single game, home and away. Brilliant. I think this automatically makes them sort of favorites for the World Cup itself.
yeah,
And make Tuchel has been really good with 3-0 victory over Latvia, 1-0 away at Andorra, 2-0 home against Andorra. They still have 2 more games to play. If you ask me, the coach should just use that as an opportunity to see which other players he might be interested in including in his final squad for the World Cup. Just a little bit of experiment over there, because they've done it. They've gone to play Latvia away to confirm mathematical qualification, and they've come out with 5 goals in an away game. Brilliant. Um, Fantastic. They deserve every sort of praise that's coming to them. I'm very impressed with their football.
right.
Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. And normally England are considered to be one of the favorites to win a tournament like the World Cup, but for some reason, somehow by some means, yeah, ever since they last won it, well, they've only won the World Cup once, and that was in, I believe, 1966. Ever since then, they've not had much fortune in winning, well, not just the World Cup, but even their own continental tournaments, the European Championships. Yeah, because, well, with the European Champ, they lost 2 consecutive finals. Yeah, they made it to the final in 2020, but then for some reason they couldn't win it and lost to Italy on penalties. And just last year, they made it to the final again, but then they lost to Spain 1-0. Well, could this World Cup also be uh, potentially another tournament they might bottle or crash out of?
Potentially, yes, but there's something about Tuchel and finals. I think he can get them into the final. I dare say he might be able to win it all with them. I think, I think they can do it. They've been
Right.
up fantastic in this.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple of national teams that will be coming into the World Cup with a similar form: France, Norway, Spain, Germany, Argentina. I mean, Brazil in their last couple of games have been playing really well, but coach, and you want to give the benefit of the doubt to England based on how long Tuchel has been with them. Even though he has not been there very long, he's been there longer than Ancelotti has with Brazil. Um, all these factors point to England being favorite for the World Cup itself. I will not be surprised if they are able to finally end this run of losing in finals all the time, or getting getting close to trophies and not actually being able to win them. This might actually be England's time to win the World Cup. I think if you take into consideration the sort of transition that is going on with all the national teams that we'd say are favorites to win the World Cup. Belgium lost their chance with their golden generation when Eden Hazard, Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne, and the likes were in their prime. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was to get to the semi-final. Um, Brazil is clearly in some sort of transition. They still lack a top striker. It's been their issue for a long time. I'm surprised that this is the reality for Brazilian football now. That I cannot name a striker leading any of the top European clubs that is Brazilian. I feel like that is one of their issues right now. Portugal will be there with Cristiano Ronaldo and Rafael Leao and Joao Felix and Pedro. So they will be interesting to see. I don't see them in it, but it's interesting to see.
Yeah.
Germany will be there doing a little bit of a rebuild. They have some youth, some players. That will be also really, really interesting. Also, it's looking good for England. I mean, if you ask me, the only other national team I see that can be a real threat to them is France.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of yeah, I'm sorry for talking over you, but speaking of Cristiano Ronaldo, well, could this be his last World Cup appearance? Well, given that Messi has declined to play a World Cup, this upcoming World Cup, yeah, upon him having sealed his his legacy, not just at the World Cup but as a player, yeah, having astonishingly won it with his nation Argentina in the last World Cup. Well, with Cristiano Ronaldo, well, could this be his last World Cup? And if it is, this is his last opportunity or chance to try to win it with Portugal. And do you believe he would be able to do so?
I believe that is his mentality going into the tournament. I
Yeah,
think that's the sort of guy he is. That he's going in it to win it. I don't think this happening, but you can never rule anything out.
yeah,
Cristiano. I mean, if it was up to him personally, he'd go all the way to the final. But you cannot play a football match by yourself.
absolutely.
And so his teammates need to be on form as well. They help him along the way. I believe he's definitely going to play in the World Cup. If he doesn't get injured, his name is probably the first on the sheet.
Right,
I for the sake of how illustrious his career has been, I really wish he'd win a World Cup as well. Just
right.
like I wish he, though it's difficult for me to see it happening, but I think it's not impossible. It's not as far fetched as saying an African team would win the World Cup. Even though I believe the African teams going into the World Cup are very serious, and I think this particular generation of African teams that are going do not look like the kind that will finish in the bottom of the group. That should probably go to Asian confederations.
Right.
If you want to look at the amount of talent that Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Senegal, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, you know, Gabon, and the likes are getting into the World Cup. I don't see African teams finishing in the bottom. Though talent and big names is not all that you need to
Yeah.
go for a game. I don't see it happening. But anyway,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's no longer in his prime. Yeah. His
Not.
performance. Yeah.
That's one thing that makes me feel like I don't think they can go all the way, but you never
Yeah.
know. I don't think it's so far fetched for Portugal to win it, though I think it will be difficult.
Yeah, yeah, it would be very difficult. Yeah, well, undeniably, with how very competitive it is at the world stage. Yeah, and well, and who knows? I mean, even with the African side, we might see one of them make it to the final, and then make history for Africa.
Yep,
To
yep, yep.
yeah, yeah, whichever that nation would be to make their first appearance in the World Cup final and probably win it. Yeah. Okay. So with that all said and done, we've come to an end or a conclusion of yet again another session. Today's session was once again filled with exciting and thrilling information about what took place, well, specifically during the World Cup qualifiers. Yeah, it was really amazing to have dived into news. Based on what happened in Europe, as well as with Africa, and also in other parts of the world, as various nations partake in a series of qualifying matches in order to make it to the World Cup. Yeah, and once again, thank you so much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. We encourage you to make sure to please leave any comments in the comment section, and also give us a reaction in the form of a thumbs up or a thumbs down as much as possible. Whether you're a regular fan or just a casual, I also encourage that if you want to see and experience more. Of being part of this channel, you want to see content each and every time, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And well, thank you so much for your attention and time, ladies and gentlemen. And Melvin, once again, thank you as usual for being my host as we take it upon ourselves to film and record to provide news to the world about what takes place in our beautiful game. Yeah, and well, with that said and done, that wraps things up. We'll see you all next time, ladies and gentlemen, to enjoy more exciting news about the beautiful game. We're over and out, and peace.